I thought it was 296 layers. Apparently it's 293. Also, I'd like to point out, this is the mixdown project. So I've brought everything down to audio for this, but I can just bring things back over from the original project, and then we can just go over like stuff in more detail. But I'm using the mixing project just to save on like CPU power and stuff, so it doesn't crash every 10 seconds. Because it would. Trust me, it would. Like the amount of contacts I'm using and weird effects racks and whatever. But nah, I guess we can start with the intro. Guess I can open this up. Little string. Little tremolo strings open. Bit of a cello thing going on here. Yeah, it's just Orchestra Central's Project Sam, yep. It's very inexpensive. It just works. I used it when I started doing orchestral, as I started doing acoustic stuff. I've been using this for a long time. It just works. But no, it's like, I believe this is all bass settings, to be honest. I think I brought the attack up, because obviously it was the intro. I want it to kind of fade in. But now it opens up with these strings here. Got a low cello. I'm actually going to loop this section. Another one here. I believe that's just a faded copy of the same thing. Then that is paired with this piano. Yep. I felt good here should make a start on this is actually like 3 years old. I never ended up making a start on that project. Now what is this? So this is the piano. Right. It should just be noir, I think. Yeah. I believe this is felt, or is it pure? I don't remember. Yeah, no, pure, okay. So it's just like one of my favorite pianos. Nice felt sound to it. Got some very, very basic EQ to it. I believe that EQ comes with Ableton by default, some reverb. So, you know, I don't know any like real music theory, so this is all done entirely like by ear. What is this? Voices. Just some humming, I guess. Ambience in the background. And then what about this? Yep. Got a field recording. I believe... No, this isn't my field recording. This is the one somebody else did. I believe it was like at a beach or something. You got seagulls and waves and whatever. Just stuck Valhalla Room on it. Fairly basic reverb. Little guitar swell. I believe that I'm just using this as a kind of pad. Yeah. Almost inaudible. What is that? Yeah. Yeah, I think this is Jade Orchestra. No, I'm going to turn off all these effects actually. What is this? Yep. Yeah, this is completely unchanged. All bass settings. I turned off the percussion. I turned off the effects. This is how it would normally sound. Normal pad, turn off the percussion, I turn off the effects on it. EQ, cut off some of the low end. Because obviously this is an intro, I just want it to be a background element. I don't want like any annoying rumble. You gotta do what you gotta do, true. Fake disperser. I don't know why I use this here, that seems really stupid. But no, it's essentially just the regular A1 EQ3 trick. If you don't have disperser, like I have disperser, but I will often use this fake EQ3 disperser thing because it's just 2 buttons. I like the UI a lot more. It's much more intuitive to me. Stereo widener is doing almost nothing. More EQ. Is that the exact same? That is the exact same EQ. That's really stupid. Okay, more EQ, Valhalla Room, extra reverb. Not very long decay, actually. Usually I do a bit more But I guess it's a pad. It's already got its own reverb on it. Soothe. Yeah, this is something you will see come up a lot in this project. So what I will often do nowadays, where Soothe is a basically dynamic resonance suppressor, right? It's going to pick up on resonances in the sound and cut them out. Usually it's supposed to be used not necessarily as a mixing thing, but to cut out like harsh peaks, right? But where this isn't a very harsh sound on its own, I can just isolate those peaks, and now it's even cleaner because I'm not getting any of this stuff. Obviously, that's not to say it has all of this stuff. It's not completely flat on like low end and stuff, but just isolating these peaks that it detects keeps it much cleaner. And I've used this a lot in this project. And then we finish it off with some basic delay. Again, it's almost inaudible. But no, that's the intro. Let's play that through again. It's all very, very bare bones. This project isn't actually that complicated at all. It's just a lot of layering. Yeah. I also have a Reese here. Very, very simple stuff. But yeah, 2 soul waves. One of them, I've switched the detune around a bit, given it 16 unison voices. Low passed it. Almost said high pass. Bit of distortion, yeah. Okay. I'm actually going to turn off all of these effects. Why not? Yeah. So it's just a low, high unison, slightly detuned soul wave. I don't believe the second one is doing much besides being a separate layer. It's not like completely turned off, but that's what that's doing. Bit of distortion. Low pass. That's all you really need in terms of like your basic background low Reese layer. Bass amp, yep. That just kind of centers it, because obviously I want like most of my bass to be completely mono. And some ever so slight dip to the highs that don't actually exist. Where do we begin here? Now what? Right. I should point out as well, I forgot something. Where is it? So wine glass, yeah. So I believe Jaden was asking about this. Yeah. Microhammer and bibophones. It's pretty much just mallets recorded from tuned wine glasses, essentially. Then I've just got the white mallet patch here. Then put that through some more reverb there, just for extra tail. Wine glass mallet, pretty much. So now this section is mostly entirely the same. I've got the piano copied over. The wine glass continues. I think I introduced the guitar from the original. One of them right, one of them left. Can't really get rid of a lot of like the background noise, so I just kind of left it. Then what else am I adding? The Reese is still the same. Yep, same one. I'm adding more to the piano as well. Hey Nevanor. How you doing, man? As well, the transition. Yeah. You see the little boom things. Okay, little thing as well. So obviously the intro is just take the journey, kind of the first introduction you get to story, like the game. It is pitched down. I did pitch it down 2 semitones, I think. Take the journey acapella. Yeah. See, this is the one from the game. And then I've pitched it down. Let me just grab that again. Yeah. So that's the completely dry vocal. And what have I done? Convolution, reverb, bit of EQ. Fairly normal stuff. Then I have another layer. More reverb and some delay, essentially. But I'm like isolating it to a kind of mid-range area. Yeah. Very subtle, but just little details. Then I brought that back, and in the mixing project gave it apparently even more reverb. Then I have a completely dry here, a completely dry chain, and pair that with another one with a bit of chorus on it. I believe that's a weird Russian chorus. I haven't used it outside of this project ever. I don't know if it's even good, but I got it and it seemed kind of quirky, so I used it. And again, I'm isolating the high end on this. Just little areas for subtle detail. And I pair them. I'll be waiting till we make it. We will see. Come with me, take the journey. Cool. And now what? I've got more of these cinematic, like, boom impact effect things, some falls, some risers. Yeah. All pretty normal stuff. And then we go into this section here. This section was kind of like a nod to little lore bits that war in like Belobog. So I'm like, you know what? I want like, what would that sound like? Okay, so what we got going on here? A lot of it is just ambience and things that I plucked from YouTube. So we've got some like thunder rain effects here. Yeah. Some street panic. Yeah. So this is just random street panic. Same with this one here, it's obviously just frozen down. If you literally just go on YouTube and you look up, I don't know, street panic, then you'll get that. So I just brought it out and put it down to audio, put it in there. Then some more crowd panic here. And what is this? Yeah. They're like ambient, wide reverb. And then I'm using DVR. Okay, yeah. Let me just change that actually. Yeah. It's a scaling, distance scale. Very good for like simulating 3D spaces. Kind of like panic effect here. Yeah. Then what am I pairing that with? That is some wind that's rising up into the transition. And a little drone here. Just deep, like, warbly background. Atmospherics. That's more of a low-end rumble. Some more contact pads. I believe that's, again, the same one as before. I believe that's just Jade Orchestra. And then I've stuck some of another one of the pad patches on that. There we go. Cool. Then obviously I turn off the percussion and the effects, and I believe I'm just playing it very high. Okay, it's not even that high, it's a D4. But I just turn off the percussion and the effects on that patch. And then what do they do to it? Bit of EQ, high pass, and then make it a little louder. Obviously I'm going to change the mixing in the mixing project, so that's probably useless by the time I've done that. But then I just high passed it again. And it got like a weird kind of siren emergency alert system sound thing. Some more pads. Yeah. Where is this? I think it's just like a violin trill thing, but played very low and then I've distorted it a bit. It's got a kind of tremolo effect to it. Cool. Then you pair that with these effects here. That's honestly the main body of this, is just random clips from YouTube and like weather, ambience, things breaking, I don't know, glass shattering windows and stuff. Piano, what's on here? That is empty, that's just the tail. Okay, then we have a few more layers. Oh my god, there's so many. Signal interference. Yeah, where is this from? It's literally just this. Weird kind of vinyl-esque rumbly noises. And I'm using that to fade into the section here. Now, this one is just called This Is a Painful Sound. I don't think it's as painful as it usually is in this project. Yeah, that's not too bad. But no, like, you know, sometimes when you have an effect rack, right? And then your project, like, breaks in between a recording, right? And then you get like really weird feedback. That's what this is. It is quite painful. I'm not going to play the full thing, you get the idea. But I just retuned that, faded it in, giving it a bit of reverb. And it's just the tail. I thought that worked pretty well. Signal mid. Where are we? Signal mid. Less chance. Where is it? Here it is, yeah. I believe that's from another cinematic library. Let me check. Show in places. Yeah, Trailer as Effects Tools by Keep Forest. And then I've just layered that, panned it left and right, and given it a bit of reverb. High passed it some more. Yeah, I've got some auto pan going on there. So just change it from one ear to the other. And then this synth here. That is by Toog and Goot. And it's just a random spooky background synth. Where is it? 145. Yeah, that one. Then again, I've just put some reverb on it and high passed it some more, boosted the high end a bit. and that plays every few bars. Now we're getting to this section. So also another thing I would add, clock ticking. This appears a lot in this project, just kind of like representing passing of time. I believe I use that a fair amount. Nope, it's just in this section. Okay, clock ticking. And then I have that unwarped, right? So where I'm changing the tempo a lot in this project, as you can see. That's obviously going to speed up, it's going to slow down. It's just keeping a consistent rhythm. Right, moment of respite. This is just kind of a break period. Obviously, we've had this panic section where it's like a remembrance for like a big war battle type thing. Then you have a break here. Cool. Got little birds here, some river flowing, water noises. Little sine wave resonant peak things. Little pads. Little violins in the background. They're all gonna layer. Yeah. What is this? Is that the same pad as before? Yeah, that's the same pad from the intro. Got another one here. Same as this one, actually. Yeah, exact same. Little rumble noise. That's being faded in to this section here. Then what else have we got? More random effects layering. Rises here. Well, that's more rises and falls because they kind of pair. What's this? Chimes, yeah. Oh, bell tree. There's an ambience. Here we go. Yeah. Just kind of setting the mood. We've gone from dark and brooding to kind of time of relative peace right now. Right. And what else have we got? Winds. I'm pretty sure this is Winds of the Wild. I think that's the library used for this. Yeah, actually I'm gonna put all this together. Now, what have we got here? Voices. This is one of my favorite vocal libraries. I think it's called Ethera. Right. Generally, I'll use Ethera for kind of top lines, background vocal solos. Right, that on its own sounds fine. It's a very, very nice legato. It's very smooth. I love that library. Where are the drums? You can tell this project isn't very organized. I'm sorry if this kind of seems that kind of a mess. It is. Is it in here? Yeah, in here. Okay. What is this? This kind of sets the rhythm for the next section. Right. I'm pretty sure that's just like bare bones white noise drum rhythm type stuff. Both these off. Yeah. Just inner harmonic noise, and then I'm automating the volume and the pitch and panning it left and right. Yeah. Gonna move these up here, effects. Turn all these off. Yeah. So bare bones, this is just noise, and I'm automating the volume to give it like a kind of rhythm. Bit of distortion, not very much. The mix is super low. You can basically not hear the difference. Bit of multiband compression, reverb, some EQ. Yeah, and you've got a very, very, very slight reverb tail. Then I'm filtering that in during the transition. Little white noise pulse, set up with drum rhythm. Yeah. The same signal from like the Respite section and the Belobog section, and bring that in here, but I've reversed it. Right. High end, I've just got a bunch of crash cymbals reversing in. Now, toms, that is here. Where are they? Tom shots. So I'll use these a lot. I believe these are from, yeah, they're just from Main Room Warehouse, the Epic Cinematic Packs, little tom shot impact things. You don't really need to do a lot to them. I think in the original project, I boosted the transients on them a bit and maybe compressed them a bit more. But there's really not much going on with these. Yeah, and then they lead us into this next section. Okay. Effects, they're again the same. A lot of it just continues across the whole project. Same impacts, you got your rises, your falls, it's all fairly simple stuff. Yep, little white noise risers, sweeps, that kind of thing. Then you just come into every impact. Drums, that's the same as here, these little tom shots. I've got little details layered in as well. Amen breaks from Glorklunk. Tie break here. Right? And then I've isolated these little hi-hat cymbals and then put them in between all of the tom shots. Where are we here? You get the idea. Little trailer hits on every main hit, main impact. Got a big kind of fundamental to them, little thump to it. They just hit for every 4 bars. Pairing them with these crashes. And mids, we've got these claps. Stadium clap. Not the biggest Kashmir fan, but this is a very good clap. Alright, there we go. Yeah, it's just a big, wide, reverbed clap. What have I got going here? Washout. That's not doing very much. But no, I'm essentially just adding a bunch of reverb here and isolating typical clap-esque area. What else have we got going on here? Sub. The sub's weird. I believe it's a race rack that I got a while ago, but I've just low passed it so much, it's essentially only playing the sub. New race. Nope, not that one. Right. So essentially what this is doing... Oh no, actually, this isn't the Reese rack. I've simplified it. I got rid of all of the Reese stuff. Yeah. Right. It's essentially just a really, really gritty, distorted sine wave type thing. Yeah, 2 square waves. There's really nothing going on with them. I'm just playing them very low. What have we got going on here? Don't have this stuff off. Auto filter, that is not this one. Okay. So on its own, that's just low passing it. Getting rid of the highs. Bit of a bass amp. Good bit of crunch. Overdrive. Full range. I did use OTT here. That's uncommon of me. Okay. Some more auto filter. This is the one mapped to my low pass filter. That opens everything up. Some more OTT. Some multi-band compression. More EQ, getting rid of some annoying peaks. Even more compression. Some erosion, give it a bit of high-end crispness. Some more EQ, get rid of that annoying resonance. And saturator. And that's it. Yeah. And that's just matched with the white noise rhythm. Now, brass, this is, I believe this is Evo Atlantica. Yeah. Hopefully this doesn't crash again when I try to load contact. Atlantica. Very niche library. It is essentially just a sampler. Yeah, you know, I wouldn't use this on its own as a brass, say like in an orchestral piece, but as a layer for very deep like tubas or like low horns, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. But no, that's all that's doing. No brass. I'm actually, yeah, that hasn't really got a lot of low end to it because obviously I'm pairing it with the sub. Voices, this is where the main flesh of this section comes in. Actually, I'm going to put those because they're not playing their way. Yeah. I'm pretty sure that is all Chorus by Audio Imperia. Yeah. Yeah, that's what that's doing. And then I'm just layering different articulations for women, different articulations for men, and they kind of all pair together. You get the idea. Keys, there's nothing going on there. Strings here. Yeah. Pair that with the low res and everything, and then that kind of builds. Yeah, you have a little brief pause here. Everything cuts, and have the clock ticking, and then you have that bell come back through. Bring the vocal back in, and bring a different kind of bass in here as well. Yeah. This is all, I believe, the same kind of stuff. Yep. High tremolo, yep. Mm-hmm. Then that's being paired with the vocal. We will see. Right. Lots of reverb on that, ambience, effects, all the same stuff. The main change here is this little bass pulse. It would be funny if you replace it with Taco Bell. I'm not replacing it with Taco Bell. No, no. I like to keep it somewhat serious, Jaden. Come on. Besides, if I had to repitch the Taco Bell anyway, it wouldn't sound like Taco Bell anymore. So unless the bass Taco Bell sound is in key, I'm not sure that would work. Now, this is 3 layers. Where are we? Lows. Yeah, what's going on here? This is Devastated Warzone, yeah. And it's just their bass pulses. Bass pulses patch there. We've got them playing a little rhythm here. Why did that sound different? What happened? Oh yeah, I remember what happened. So the range of this library is ever so slightly too high for how low I want it to go. So then it just sounds like this. I'm giving it some disperser. Getting rid of a little bit of transition, making it sound a bit more wetter. Then obviously I'm pitching it down. How much by? Yep, down 2 semitones because it's ever so slightly. The range is ever that little bit too high for what I needed. And then Pro Q for just dipping that, which is weird because I never really do this. What is that doing actually? Yeah, I definitely want to dip that. And then I'm layering that with these two layers here. What is this? That is another Keep Forest patch. Yeah, what's going on here? Main. Hybrid Pulse, yeah. Hybrid Pulse 1. So this is what I was saying about Keep Forest. It gives you a bunch of the audio files, and then it just plays them back and gives you the effects inside the library. But it is essentially just a very big sampler. And then same as before, the range is slightly too high for what I needed. EQ out some at the low end. Pitch it down. Soothe. That's getting rid of all of this stuff here. Which sounds fine, like it's not painful, but it's just information I didn't need. Because I want a very consistent tone, I don't want there to be a ton of harmonics in my bass pulse. And then gate it. So I'm only getting the transient, I'm only getting the pluck there. Because I have the flesh of this thing in the sub anyway. So I don't need any extra sub harmonics in here. Then they layer together here. Just gonna give it a little bit more of a hit to it, a bit more of a transient. And layer them with another transient here. More Keep Forest stuff. Very good to just like give something a bit more attack. So I just stuck that on the bass pulse and then they layer like this. And that's that. And same as before, really. Yeah. Then that's going to transition into another choir section. But same as before, it's like it's going to cut into the next section. Yeah, what's going on here? Some more random percussion. I believe that's Tycho Creator. It's just another contact library. Very, very nice. Very nice background percussion. Tycho drums kind of library. Sub drop here. I believe that's the same as this sub, actually. But I'm just pitching it down with the pitch bend. Obviously it's louder as well. And then what is going on here? It's a few layers. Weird little glitchy radio noise. Yeah, so it's this repitched. And then I've just pitched that down, high passed it. Then I have this section here. That's the main body of it. Yes, I know what this is. I know what this is. This is Static Chorus. I believe Donation did a video on this. Essentially, you have any sound and you stack a bunch of choruses from Serum Effects on top of it. And you will get things like this. Yeah, stuff like this. And then this is just a cutting from one of those bass jams that I stuck a ton of reverb on. And that leads into the next section. More of the instruments come in here. Bit of a string staccato. Does it apply to Vital's chorus as well? It should do. You know what? For experiment's sake, I'm gonna try it. Not replicating it, but just see if like the chorus settings would be the same. Because it is fairly simple. New live sets. I don't know if this is the original or if it's my adapted version. It's going to open a ton of windows in its own time, of course. There we go. Okay. So essentially, it follows the principle that... Actually, hang on. Chorus, that's that. Modulation. You know what? I'm actually going to get rid of this. Because that's my version. Static chorus. Here we go again. Cool. So essentially, you know what? Someone give me a random word. Chicken. You know what? That's fine. Yes. Okay. So pretty much how this works. I'm just going to turn off all of these duplicates. It follows the principle that you start off with a serum effects, little LFO. This is the normal 4-bar basic shape, and it's mapped to delay 1 on the chorus, right? Delay 2 is down, depth is down, fairly basic settings, right? And obviously the LFO rate, that's mapped to obviously the rate in serum effects. Delay 1, I can change how much I want it to move by. Delay 2, that it's static, but obviously it's also mapped. Volume, that's just the master. And then these are the OTT settings, right? Compression depth, upwards, downwards, and a volume, yeah? So what this is doing... That's that, right? It's just adding a bit of weird delay noise. OTT. Isn't doing very much, right? But now, if I duplicate that, you're starting to get somewhere. Then I duplicate it again. And again. And again. Maybe a few more times. You know, maybe, I don't know, 2 more times. Maybe 3 more. Sounds pretty good, right? And then, where I have my version of it, it just adds a bunch of randomness. But anyway, what was your question? Vital. Where is vital? Here it is. Where's chorus? Oh no, actually, it has 2 delays. That's fine. 1 second. Serum vital. So OTT, that's fine. You just, you know, I don't know, replicate those settings if you want. So, is there a vital effects version? I don't think so, but Matt is working on an effects version. Okay, that's good. Because as long as you've got your delay, and you can independently control delay 1, delay 2, and this other stuff, you should be able to copy it. And I'm pretty sure vital is actually slightly smoother than serum anyway, right? Like from what I've heard. So it should work in theory. I can send you that after the stream if you want, that rack, and then you can just kind of like replicate it. But what I've done for a lot of these sounds that I used in memories is oh, for crying out loud. What I've done for a lot of them is I've added a bunch of randomized LFOs, and then those LFOs independently control all of the different like parameters. So I'm never getting the same sound twice ever, right? And then I can just record that for however long I need and cut out all of the good bits. Let's see if this loads. Static chorus V3. Please work. Right. Where were we? Right. Again, Audio Imperial chorus. This is just the same thing on a staccato setting. One female layer, one male layer. And then what is this? Sustains. It's very simple stuff. And then they'll combine. And I believe the strings are following the same pattern as the choir, actually. Yeah. Still pretty normal. Then that's being given the rhythm by the low end, essentially. Drums, it's all fairly normal stuff, same as before. What is this? Little closed hi-hats. More rhythmic stuff. When it comes to orchestral stuff, I try to limit the amount of sidechaining that I'm doing, just because I don't want a weird pumping effect on an orchestral thing. I still want an acoustic piece to sound like it's an acoustic piece. So when it comes to using all kinds of instrumentals and brass and strings and that kind of thing, just try not to go ham on the sidechain, otherwise it'll just sound fake and weird and robotic. But I'll use it on like impacts, because obviously it's going to be big clashes there into new sections. That makes perfect sense. Then we have some synth layers here. I believe this is just some random pulses here. Yep. I believe besides the kick rhythm and these new strings, it is almost exactly the same as the previous section. Granted, I also have these tribal chants. Yeah. They are from... yeah, cinematic vocals and beds. It comes with a few like kits, and they have these little vocal chants. Very nice. Little like background elements. What else have we got going on? The staccato's different. Yep. I've also got the same as before here, where I have the transition. I've got this other sound design bit here. It's a little bit more layered. Yeah. Same as last time. The little radio noise. Crackles, a bit of not detune, what's it called? Bit reduction on that. What is this? Here. But no, that's got like a few more layers here. Little thing there. Little glitchy noises. Right? And then they all combine here. Where the hell are we? This is the most disorganized breakdown stream I've ever done. It's also the only one I've ever done. Yeah. So now I believe all of this is the same besides this strings. So let's go over this. Yeah. Get rid of Soothe, get rid of these two. They're not being used. Turn those off. What is this? This is Chris Hine strings. Yeah. Now, I don't like using articulations very much. Not because I don't think they're good. They're great. They're a requirement. But they are very, very painful. So when it comes to just being efficient with strings, I'll pull up Chris Hine because they have these dynamic patches, which is, it doesn't really save you from having to change articulations, but it does still give longer notes that dynamic kind of movement that you do with an articulation without like having to do that on your own. See? Right? Dry and putting it through some compression, some concert hall reverb. High pass, get rid of a lot of the, like, it's not quite rumbly, it's just kind of like a kind of hollow, airy sound to the bottom end. See? All of this stuff here. I don't want that. I'm gonna EQ it some more. Let me get into a even bigger, more energetic section here. So what's going on just before the transition? We have some slight changes to the instrumental. I have the staccato here. Right, you get the idea. Then I have this, I believe the trolls and the tremolo, that is, they're the exact same. Yeah. They're just copying over, doing like a very tense, kind of eerie top line. Yeah. Okay. Then I have a little guitar here. This is just a sampled guitar. I haven't recorded this or anything. I'm very bad at doing guitars. But no, this is just, I believe this is from Atlantica again, that same Keep For Us library. Right. Also, another thing, the choir, a lot of rhythm changes here. But they're definitely giving a lot of this section more rhythm and bringing in some more some extra drums here as well. Right. What's this snare from? I believe I didn't do much processing on this snare. Tasty glitches, yeah. That's just a regular trap snare. Might even have just boosted that with the drum bus, giving it a bit more reverb. Then that's paired with an Eli Dorp snare. Yeah. Right. Now, funny thing about these glitches. Right. These things here, yeah? I'm still not sure how this works, but it's a bunch of layers, right? So we've got ones like those, this one, the noise from before, little thing here, little random little sound bites, ear candy things. That is the pre-drop vocal to Walk Away by Eliminate. Obviously, a lot of these little clips come from different sources, right? But how it works, I don't know the science behind it, right? But I know how these sounds work. Hang on. There we go, these. How do I describe it? If you have a big long effect rack, sometimes that will just break, right? So even if you pause everything, that rack is still producing like a weird tone just as feedback. I don't know if it's a bug or if it's like that's supposed to happen. But what happened one day is I was working on some sound design. I got this sound just stuck on the end of whatever it was I was working on as feedback, yeah? Sounds almost like a shepherd tone. But what I figured out is like, this is a cool sound. I'm gonna mess with this for a little bit, right? So I went to the warp modes in Ableton, went to texture because it's the best warp mode. That's just the objective truth. Texture is the best warp mode. Turn the flux all the way down, grain size all the way down. Then you see, at the beginning here, it's already doing something weird, yeah? So what I then did is I started messing with the pitch. Now you see, it reaches a point where it just becomes repitching a tone. So repitching this won't do much. It's just a consistent tone, but I'm repitching it around. But what I found is that specifically on this transient, it did some really weird stuff. So I stretched it as much as I could and pitched it around some more. I don't know why it does that. I'm pretty sure it's something to do with like the phase being off or whatever, but it's very nice and I've used it in so much stuff now. Like I will have this section looping for eternity, just kind of beef it up with another effect rack and just have something automating the pitch consistently to where I will get weird little chopped up noises like this. And then you chop those up and stick them up in little gaps in this section, and it's just a neat little right. So then we get into another period of respite. So how I structured this whole project, I should really like mention. Every section corresponds to a different period of the story in Staria, right? So obviously you have the intro where obviously you get on the train and you do your stuff. Then you got into Belobog, you find out there's been this big war, and then this section here is supposed to represent like new Belobog. So this section here is supposed to kind of represent a restored nation, right? Like all grand and stuff. Then you have this section. There's like slight tension. Not everything might be as it seems. This is like where you kind of know something's in danger, right? Something's in danger. You have the choir, you have the strings, you got the little staccatos, everything's kind of like not creepy per se, but it's very tense. It's very very intense. You just kind of want to like put in as much drama as possible into this piece per section. And where you have breaking apart here, this is supposed to represent that final confrontation you have with Cocolia, right? So now you finished off Cocolia, right? And you have a period of brief respite, yeah? It's a bit of a break, you're going down, tension's being lifted. Cool. So now here, I wanted to keep things as minimal as I could. I brought in the wind, I brought in the birds, and then you've got a kind of light piano, right? So it's where you've finished off Cocolia. That's all done. It's you've done what you came to this planet for, yeah? But essentially, Bronya's now lost her mom, right? So it's like, well, great. Cocolia's gone, but now she lost her mom. So it's like, well, shit, this is kind of sad now. And then you're bringing the sad piano. Got little sound bites of her crying in the background. Little cello in the background as well. Kept the wine glass mallets, little music box. There's the Starl main motif. Now here, I'm not even sure if they're in the same key, but if you've seen Zila's trailer, you'd recognize this melody.
Still here? I'm afraid things just got complicated.
Obviously that slowed down significantly, but I just thought having that as like a little string section in the background is tasteful to say the least, but it's that character support in the background. Just kind of consoling Bronya, helping her get back up on her feet, you know. Okay, so now here, this transitions to after we've kind of returned. This is where you'd go and meet Serval, and you tell her what's happened, and she wants to, you know, kind of experience for herself firsthand the effects of what you've done. And she discovers some kind of creature that is, she's kind of speaking to Serval as Cocolia, or a reincarnation of Cocolia per se, and that's really getting to her emotionally. So that comes into this grand section here. So now this section here, let's break this down piece by piece. Go from bottom to top. Ambience, that's the same as we've been doing fairly recently. We've got the like little whistles, pads, just kind of very, very, very subtle background elements. Effects is the same as before. Sweet slow rises, cinematic like boom impacts. Vocals, I've got little scream into the transition. Now what have we got? Strings, again. Fairly simple stuff. Little tremolo. Strings here again. Yep. And then I have the same guitars from before in the breakdown section. And these guitars kind of represent Serval, because obviously she plays guitar. It's kind of like a characteristic element. Then we get into keys. I've got this little arpeggiated kind of trilly piano. Programming this was probably the most painful part of this entire project. Right? Then that gets layered with the strings. Right. Then that's layered with the same choirs from before. This stacks here. Now you might notice the guitar, it is in the background, but it is ever so slightly more present than this choir, right? I wanted the choir to represent Cocolia and the guitar to represent Serval. So they're at a contrast with each other, right? And then they're layered with the brass at the bottom here. And then we have this little break section here where the choir comes through full force. Now here there's no guitar. This is Cocolia's final attempt at control. So there's no guitar here anymore. Other elements as well. Now you can see even just from the waveform, they get significantly quieter when the choir comes back through. Just giving that dynamic movement, that story progression, that significance to characters and their role in each piece. Then the piano comes back in, comes down from the top. So now Cocolia's gone. She's dealt with, Serval has dealt with her mental anguish. So now we transition into another section. This is where we're going to travel to the underworld even, where Azila resides. And this section, is less trying to tell its own independent story of the underworld, but more set, like, depict the environment, the setting through like sound, right? So what have I got here? This one was significantly more ambient. So I brought the thunder back in. I've actually brought the factory ambience for Heisenberg's factory from Resident Evil 8. Right. Then I've got some rocks crumbling. And this is a synthesized explosion sound that I made in Vital, using like sine waves and a bunch of distortion. Then we've got like some rumbly kind of crispy metallic sounds on the bottom piece. And they'll combine together. Just kind of set the environment, the rise into the next section. Right. There's less in terms of effects here. I'm going to kind of set as much ambience as possible, not much distraction into this transition. Right? Just fall and a rise. Then the instrumentals, that's again fairly simple. Just your deep piano and then a church bell. Like the main flow for this section is being set by the timpani. Where is it? That is here, I believe. Just giving it rhythm. So it's ambient, but it's not just ambience. It has something to follow. Then I have a little vocal here, little gasping for air, little exclamation thing. This is supposed to represent, I guess, Zila's personal struggle with like the underground and the setting and what it's like to live in a place like that. There's two layers. One is higher and one is slightly lower. Then we get into this kind of Alan Moore-esque, gritty, granular kind of section. I think I've got a bunch of ambience continuing throughout the entirety. Yeah, the factory ambience goes across the entirety of this section. Then I've got little snippets in between, but the main body of the ambience is just this low factory rumble, little ear candy kind of, just pretty stereo as well. You know, I guess I'll start with the drums because there's a fair amount going on here. Let me just extend these. Right. So obviously I'm starting off with this same kick as before. And that is layered with this sound here. Kind of an ambient rock, like crumbly noise, and a trailer hit. Now, there's going to be a lot of random sound effects here. Kick is fairly substandard, if I'm honest. Highs, again, it's all pretty simple. The main difference comes from the percussion here. See if I turn off the percussion here. Right. Actually, I'm going to turn it back on. I'm going to turn off Crunchy Foley, just for example's sake. So purely in terms of the drums, it's just a lot of impacts, a lot of crunchy noises, little sweeps, a little ear candy. And then the main detail for the crispness of those drums comes from the fact that there's no snare here. It's just a metallic impact from a Glitch Machines pack. Glitch Machines, where is it? Deflect, yeah, Iridium. It's one of these. Right, 1A, it says, where's 1A? Here. Yeah, it's literally just the first impact from this folder. And then I'm using that as the snare Because like it's quite thick. It's got like kind of wetness to it. Right. And then moving into the snare as a kind of sweep, I have a lot of celery crunches. Yeah. Okay. Cracking celery. So this is pretty much the sound of just crunching a stick of celery into a microphone. So you get like really nice crunchy Foley. And then I've pitched a bunch of these around. Got some mode step Foley as well. Some leaves. And then I've got a little transient that I've stuck a bunch of reverb on. From that celery. And then they all combine together like this. Yeah. And then that's going to transition into almost every snare hit in this section. Purely for example's sake, I'm going to turn off all of the sounds in here. Because a lot of this section is carried by the sound effects there. Now for every hit, I've got this downer as well. And this serum rumble. Right. What's going on here? Absolutely nothing. See, this is what I'm saying. The main body of the Underworld section is just crunchy, gritty sound design. Now where are we? We have this Abroxis glitch here. Some UI glitches. Little Dr. Lobster whooshes. Feedback. Bit of reverb. That is this. It's a pretty stupid noise, but hey. Textures. I believe that plays every 4 bars. Yeah. More Abroxis sounds. And what is this? Creaking. Yeah, this one, there we go. Little glitches, and then I'm cutting out small snippets of each one and just layering them with each other. Got this Eli Dirt bass again. They'll like howl in the background. My little accidental riser snippets. Signal interference again. And what is this? More Abroxis, yeah. Yep. It's literally just a lot of layering. Like most of these sounds aren't even processed very much. It's just a lot of layering work. See, if I were to just solo all of these. Yep, what is this? Footstep. Yep. Where are these from? Robotic life forms, yeah. So it's another one of these cinematic effects packs, just weird noises. It's very nice. you might notice in the background I've got this breathing, right? It's not moaning. It's not moaning. It's literally just heavy breathing. It's not moaning. I can assure you it is not. That's just supposed to represent like exhaustion, essentially, from living in like a place such as this, right? Then we come into a midsection here. Now, I believe that this is, what is this? Music blocks, yeah. I forget which one it's from, but it's replicating the same melody as one of the underworld kind of Boulder Town-esque areas. Then I'm layering that with another layer in the synth section here. But no, it's essentially the same glitchy stuff, but with that underworld section motif layered beneath it. Yeah. And then we transfer back into this timpani section. Now how does this section work? There we go. Drums are actually pretty damn simple there. Okay. Lows, we have this Reese again, same as last time. Yep. Then what else have we got? I'm bringing in this pulse from before again. Yep. As for instruments, it's again just the deep piano. Now, here you might recognize this little acoustic guitar thing from right? Obviously, I haven't used that section specifically because it's got a ton of cinematic drums layered on top of it, right? But what I'm doing here is, I could even try to replicate it. There we go. So what I'm doing here is I'm isolating this acoustic guitar. I'm shrinking it down so it fits the tempo that I'm using, and I'm changing the loop mode so I'm essentially only getting the transients. So it keeps it as clean as possible while still getting the transients from the guitar without all like the background noise. And then obviously I've done a bunch of other stuff to it. Yeah. There's been a lot of cleanup done to that. But that's just layered with the piano here. Now, vocal-wise, again, with the funny AI vocal instrumental remover website, I've done the same thing, but I've just extracted the vocal. So where is it? Yeah, here. Right. Now, I believe obviously this is brought over from the main project again. This is just a mixing project, so I haven't got every single detail, but I believe this is just some reverb and a phone call kind of convolution reverb effect. Then what else have we got? In terms of the transition, we've got more of these funny glitches. Right? Some more here. And then they're just layered with this little break with the grease. It's very subtle, and I thought that this first hit actually sounds kind of like a guitar, which I liked. It was kind of neat, I guess. Cool. Ambience wise, it's just this pad. Little siren in the background. Pretty normal. Effects are the same as before. Rises impacts. There's really not much going on here actually. And then vocals, I've created a little background line with the Sa Se Su vocal. Right? And the little background ear candy, right? That had a lot of people going like, hey, how did you do this? So essentially how this works is with the instrumental remover like algorithm things, it's by no means perfect. So there will be parts of the song that it considers to be vocal, but it isn't vocal. So you just get these weird kind of warbly noises. And that's essentially all that this is. But all I'm doing here, let me turn that down actually. That's here. So this website considered this section here to be a vocal, but it wasn't a vocal. So what I did is I've obviously warped it to match the tempo and I brought it up an entire octave, yeah? So now what I'm getting here is this. And it's still in key as well, because obviously it's just taken straight from the track. Some multi-band compression, EQ. Utility, make it a bit wider. And then here again, I've done the same soothe trick with the delta mode. See? It's picking up on all of those resonances and then I isolate them so that's as clean as it can get. Bit of reverb. More EQ. Some more EQ. And some fake disperser. have some more of this. Let me see if I can grab this. Nice. Same as before. I pitched it up and I warped it to match the tempo, but what is it originally? What the hell? What is that? I forget. But no, that is just another clipping of what it thought was a vocal, but wasn't actually a vocal. So I've abused that so I get smooth textures in the background. Pitched it up 2 octaves. Same as before, multi-band compression. EQ, same as before. Utility, make it wider. Soothe, funny delta trick. Long tail, reverb. More EQ. More EQ. Now see, for this one, I'm accentuating a lot of these peaks here. And then I stuck an auto pan. And another fake disperser. And that's all there is to it. Keys, there's nothing going on in there. Cool, we can move up to synths. What is this? Little laser, same plucks as before. So the main motif for a Godfather, that little distorted kind of background element, that is the Godfather motif, right? So I've decided to recreate that in Serum. I'm going to see if I can pull up that now. Hang on. I'm going to turn off all of these effects. And I believe this patch is actually bass in Serum. It just comes with Serum when you get it. Just a weird analog sine wave, kind of spooky sound. Some reverb on it as well. Little low pass. Then what am I doing to it? Yeah. Event Horizon, I believe this is... yeah, it's just a compressor. It's not even a distortion unit. Fairly basic settings. Then I have another version that's just completely dry. Then long tail. And that's how you basically recreate the Godfather motif. To put it plain and simple. Then am I doing anything else to it? Besides a bit of EQ? No, not really. Cool. As for drums, I believe, again, it's fairly simple. It's just a very, very basic beat in the background. Now I get into something else. Vocal wise, there's, yeah, nothing here. Effects, same as before. Little booms, ambience. Brought the factory ambience back in. Very normal. Instruments wise, there's the choir, same as before. Then they are supported by the brass underneath. And then there's a layer with the keys. Which are also layered with the strings. Essentially just rising tension. That's all this section is supposed to be doing. Building tension into the next like big build. Cool. Then as for synths, same as before. The little laser blips. The plucks in the background. Now, drums, there's a little bit more going on here. I've got this little noisier break loop. Yeah. Then I've got this one, recharge sound. They've got lots of little metallic clicky sounds. EQ, high pass it. Fake disperser. Stereo widening. And saturator. Now this section should be very, very, very easy to decipher because I did this in this project. There's no annoying waiting load times. But essentially, we have our build here. Then we relate into this filter sweep. I'm going to do this section by section. So the main breeze here. Is 3 layers. Let me turn off all of the effects. It is quite literally a weird kind of not quite squarified sine wave. Bit of attack to it. Little bit of release. Low pass. I'm going to turn off all these. Yeah. It's a very weird sound. It's just a slightly crunchy sine with a bit of noise to it. Wouldn't really consider it very useful under any other circumstances. But then I have oscillator A duplicated almost. Yeah, not quite. It's not quite duplicated onto oscillator B. 2 octaves higher. 7 semitones. Got some nice harmonic. Yeah, bit of unison as well. Then I'm putting a hyperdimension on it. Bit of distortion. I say a bit, it's like max the fuck out. And then some multiband compression, that's just blowing it up. All fairly normal stuff. Then I'm putting that through trash 2. That's going through Eli Derp's Fat 3.1 rack. This isn't doing an awful lot. I checked beforehand. If anything, it's like thinning the sound out almost. Then I'm putting that through to Fake Disperser again. Utility boosting the gain a little bit, and then EQ. And then obviously I'm automating the pitch band there. Then I have a second layer that's just a pluck. This one is also quite simple. Just 2 soul waves, unison boosted, oscillator Bs and octave lower. Turn off these effects. Yeah, it's essentially a low pass soul wave that's just being automated. The volume, so it's like kind of like a pluck. EQ. Hyperdimension. Get a bit more width. Chorus. Compressor. And reverb. Then that's going through Fake Disperser. Utility, boosting it, and then an EQ. Then we have this harmonic layer. I'm actually going to turn off the effects before this time. Well, no, so 2 soul waves. Bit of a peak, low pass. Cutoff automated by LFO1. Comb filter is doing almost nothing. Distortion is essentially carrying the body of the sound. And a multiband compressor. Then I put that through trash 2 again. Soothe 2, doing the same delta track as always. Fake Disperser. Utility, boosting it, and the same EQ. And then those combine to get the main sound here. Now, they're also layered with this pretty bare bones saw layer underneath. Yeah, literally just saw wave, bit of noise. The filter's doing absolutely nothing. Put that through Soothe again. Keep it as clean as possible. Multiband compression, boosting the volume a bit, and increasing the width with the utility. And then those will combine here. Nice. Now I'm also adding the synth in the background. All pretty normal. So the main flow of this, let me just isolate the synths. Yeah. So this impacting synth is just a 2 goot sample. And then I've just repitched it so it's in key. EQ, boost the volume a little bit. Now this, what is going on here? I believe this is all following the same kind of structure. I'm going to turn off all the effects. Yeah, what is this? Just an Eli Dart gun laser sound. What am I doing? Utility, boost the gain a bit. Frequency shifter, boost the fine tune. Reverb. Utility, boost the mid side a little bit. EQ8. Utility. Now, as you can see, I'm automating the balance, so it's like not quite hard left, right. It's still kind of centered. And then I'm isolating the high end, because I don't want this to be the body of the sound. This is just the crispness to the high end. Utility gain is doing fuck all, don't know why that's there. And then this is just quality control, getting rid of some of the extra harshness. Then we have the layer above that. What is this? This is the infamous 37 audio. There we go. That's a very old sound that I made that I've never really used. And then I'm just isolating like the hit to it. Fake disperser as always. Get the wet transient gain. Frequency shifter, bringing the frequency down way low. Reverb. Boost the mid side. Imager, I'm just doing nothing, it's an imager. Transpire, boosting the transients. Might even be reducing them, to be completely fair. EQ, and a little bit more gain. Then we have this layer on top. I believe this is just more crispness. Yeah. What is this? Oh, it's the sticky keys sound. So a while ago, I was doing a bass jam, and I started doing a bunch of noises using sticky keys. Yeah. So every one of those sounds is made from the Windows sticky keys sound. Same as before. I'm going to turn all of these off. Fake disperser. Multiband compression. Utility, boost the gain. Reverb. Frequency shifter. EQ. And utility. And then those three layer here. That's all there is to that one. Now, for a couple of these two goot sounds, I've messed with the transient loop and the, I'm not sure what that's actually called, but it's like, it's just gave it this nice choppy effect similar to an auto pan. Good for sweeping into different sections, transitions even. Now, this is a remake of the sustain bass from 90% of Marauder songs. And I believe that is in here. This sustain from basically every Marauder song there is. Then I'm repitching it downwards. Some reverb. Utility, boost the gain a little bit. And high pass. That's all there is to that one. Now I have some more guns that I laid on top of the sustain. Now what's going on here? Yeah, that is, this section is just the Joe B Patreon sound repitched. And then there's another Eli Derp sound that I've also repitched. Keep it in key. Then I have this. That's an old sound of mine. Yeah, there we go. And then I've just pitched it again. Then we've got some more Eli Derp percussion. That one hasn't been repitched, I've just changed up the pattern. Then we layer them all together. And do the same thing I do a lot in this project with Soothe. Delta. Keep it as clean as possible. Get rid of all like the mud. Because that sounds like ass. EQ. Reverb. More EQ. Yeah, get rid of those peaks. And boost again. Now, there's a few more details in this last quarter here. Now see, the attack on this is not very good, to be completely honest with you, but it's being sidechained out anyway, so it doesn't matter. It's a goddamn moon boy pluck. So wait, what is this anyway? Square wave, soul wave, high unison, low pass. Boost the hyperdimension, distort it, multiband, and a bit of reverb. Then I'm putting that again through Soothe, not on Delta this time. Utility, boost the gain, more trash too. Utility, even more gain. Then what else have we got? Some F-in fills. The recreated Godfather synth from earlier. Is there anything underneath? Besides these plucks? No, not really. What else is there? I think there's a couple details in the vocal section. This, yeah. A little transition vocal. I believe that's by Levitate. Yeah. No vocal stab. Reverb, fake disperser, EQ, and saturator. And then that's just leading into the whole final section on the D&B section. What's even going on for drums? None of the drum work in this is really that different from just regular drums. Yep, then we go into the little break section. Then that goes into the final drop. FX, same as always. Not that complicated. Ambience, also the same. Vocals. Yep, same as before. And then we go into the final section. Orchestra is just, there's not much happening there, if I'm being completely honest. Since oh, that's another thing, I didn't discuss the sub. Yeah, the sub carries a lot of what goes on in this drop. Sub. I believe this sub is just used for this section. Yeah. I want a sub with a big heavy like transient to it. Yeah, so this sub is 3 layers. So essentially all I'm doing here is automating the pitch of each transient for each note. Essentially just like a random pitch envelope. Pretty substandard stuff. Literally one sine wave and first, third harmonic. I'm accentuating a little bit. There's really not a lot going on here, it's just a sub with a pitch envelope. Bit of noise. Some EQ. Multiband compression. Then boost the highs even more. Then that's being paired with this attack enhancer. See, it's very subtle, but if I loop this, it does give a little bit more click to it. Very, very, very important. That sort of laser on the top. Yeah. Not bad. Keys, there's nothing going on. Voices, we've got some choirs in the second section. We're going to this final break. There you have it. That is Memories of a Forsaken Universe in its entirety. But now, if there's any other questions people are going to have now, then I guess leave a comment under the YouTube video when it's finished editing. I should be doing that over the next couple days, and we'll see how that goes. But I guess for now, that's everything. 10 minutes long, 293 layers. It was a lot of work, but I do think it was worth it. Even if the recognition it received during the contest was slim to none, I am very happy with this project, and I have zero regrets. So I think that's good enough, honestly. But no, I guess for now, that's it. I will see you all later. Thank you for sticking around, if you're still here.